Story time on how my baby daddy ghosted me. Side note, this is not about my husband. I lived a whole life before him. Grab your tea or your coffee, whatever you have, because this is a crazy one. It all begins years ago in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Yes, I'm going to share you the locations of things. I'm not going to name names, but if you're from Fort Wayne, you'll know some of these establishments. It started on a Friday night. I just got off a double shift. I was 9 weeks pregnant. I came home to my ex, let's call him Tom. We were living together at the time. I came home and he had candles and rose petals and dinner made and a flower bouquet. I immediately was suspicious because he never would do things like that for me. I never said anything. I kind of just went with it. At the end of dinner, he hit me with, "Is it okay if I go to my friend's house tonight? We're just gonna have drinks at his house, maybe play some video games. Nothing too big." I was so tired after a long day of work, my first trimester of pregnancy. I was just like, well, I don't care, go. So he ends up leaving. Before he left, though, he did ask me for my credit card, which this is important to the story. It was around tax time. He didn't have a bank account, so he got his taxes back and he put it in my bank account because we were living together, we were having a baby together. He asked me for the card before he left because he was like, I just want to get some drinks, maybe some food, nothing much. I give him the card. I go to sleep. I wake up out of my sleep. It's like 4 a.m. He's not home. I call him. He doesn't answer. He never answered anytime I ever called him. I'm calling until he's finally picking up. He picks up and he's drunk. What are you doing? He was like, we're at the liquor store getting more alcohol. I'm like, it's 4 a.m. Shouldn't you be on your way home? He's like, no, we're not done drinking. I think you probably should come home. It's 4 a.m. I think the party's over. I'll come home. Get off the phone with him. Go back to sleep. I wake up at 8 a.m. and he is still not home. I'm calling him and he's not picking up. I start getting worried because I know he was drinking. I was like, what if he's in a ditch somewhere? I give it a couple hours, still didn't hear from him. I end up calling his mom. His mom hasn't heard from him. I call his friend that he said he went to his house with. Let's call his friend Bill. I call Bill and I'm like, do you know what is up with Tom? I wasn't with Tom last night. I don't know what you're talking about. So I immediately am like, what the heck? What the heck? Where is Tom? Where is Tom? That's a big question. I had to play Nancy Drew, try and find good old Tom once again. My first thought was, I am going to look at my card on my banking app and see if he's spent any money. I look at my bank account, it's empty. It said that he withdrew all the money at an ATM. It just showed the address of the ATM. I look up the address. It was Shangri-La Strip Club. I'm immediately like, what the fuck? What is going on?
Two of the baby daddy ghosting saga.
I go to my mom's and I'm like freaking out. I haven't heard from him. He wasn't with, what was his name? Bill. He wasn't with Bill that night. He took all of the money out of the bank account at Shangri-La. My mom was like, let's go look at his phone records because he was on the same phone plan as my mom. So we're going on the computer, looking up his phone records. I just see all these numbers. Let's just start from the top. I started calling just random numbers. Not surprising. Mostly just like all strippers. He went to the strip club and got all their numbers. They didn't have any information about where he was, what happened. I finally get to a number. It's this girl. She is telling me that she didn't know that he had a pregnant girlfriend. They were talking for a little while. She told him about this party. He met her at this party with a bunch of his friends. I guess he was trying to do some stuff with her. She got creeped out and ended up not doing anything with him. He left the party. She didn't know where he was. I reached a dead end. I had to go to work. I spent all day just trying to figure out where he was. Couldn't figure it out. Went to work. I was just so distraught. Didn't know what was going on. I ended up going to work, coming home. He's not there. Still haven't heard from him. I had the bright idea to use the Find My iPhone app and try to log into there to see where he was. Somehow I ended up guessing his password. At this point, it was at night. It was like 10 o'clock at night. It showed that his location was at the Harem strip club. I don't know what's with this guy in strip clubs, but he was at the Harem. I take my happy ass and drive over to the Harem. I see his car. At the time, I'm 20. I couldn't get into the strip club, but did have a fake ID. I go home and I get all dressed up. I show up to the strip club. I use my fake ID to try to get in. Because in my head, I'm like, if I confront him at the strip club, he can't hide or he can't lie that he was there. Because a lot of times he'd gaslight me and say, I wasn't there or whatever. I needed proof that he was there. I needed to be face to face. It was embarrassing because the guy that was working security told me I needed to leave because my ID was fake. Very sad. I end up going into his car. I end up seeing lots of things in his car.
Part 3 of the baby daddy ghosting saga. Good grief, lady.
Lots of girl things, a lot of protection, if you know what I mean. I'm freaking out. What is going on? Just yesterday, he had flowers and candles, made me dinner, said that he loved me, all this stuff. All of a sudden, now I can't find him. He's at all these strip clubs, and what's going on? I'm on the phone with my mom while I'm sitting in his car. I'm just going to sit here until he gets out, till he comes out of the strip club. My mom's like, just come home. It'll be okay. You need to let it go. I should have let it go. I sat out in that parking lot for 2 hours. He didn't come out. Ended up going over to my mom's house. There's just a lot of details in there that I don't feel comfortable sharing. When it comes to my mental health, there's just a lot. Long story short, I end up going to the hospital that night because of certain things with my pregnancy. Warning, they told me that I was losing my baby. So obviously I was very upset. Both me and my mom were trying to get a hold of him. He was nowhere to be found. At this point, it was like 3 a.m. I ended up begging my mom to drive me over to the Harem. The strip club should be closing. I just want to see if he's there. My mom ends up driving me to the Harem. We park out there because his car is still there. I see his friend come out. Me and my mom were not slick at all because we were parked right in front of his car. So he probably saw me. He had his friend come out. He actually came to my mom's car and lapped on the window and was like, "Are you Bailey?" I'm like, No. As I get into Tom's car, starts pulling to the back of the Harem. All of a sudden, I see them zoom off. I see a couple girls in the car. I see the top of Tom's head. What? This is freaking crazy. Yesterday was Friday. This was Saturday. There's Sunday. I went through all of this. Now it's Sunday and I had to go back to work. That morning I went to work. I still didn't hear from him. So I ended up texting him that you have until 5 p.m. to pick up your things.
Last part of the baby daddy ghosting saga. Goodbye, Tom, you idiot.
I put all of his clothes and all that stuff in trash bags outside of my apartment because it was my apartment. He didn't work. The apartment was in my name. I paid for everything. It was my apartment. I said you have 5 p.m. to pick up your stuff. The whole night went. He never picked up his stuff. The next day, I ended up calling maintenance, changing the locks. I threw his stuff in the apartment dumpster. I want to say The next day, seeing him dumpster diving. That's just one of many stories with Tom. Good old Tom. This whole situation was just a blessing in disguise because who knows what my life would have been if these things didn't happen. Hindsight is 2020. Thank God it didn't work out, right? Sadly, I have more stories like that because I was with him for 3 years. Not after, but before all this stuff happened. If you want to hear more stories like this, let me know.